students, welcome to biology class. This is Shanti, your biology teacher. In our previous video class, we discussed about the lesson Animals in Daily Life. In that, you have learnt about animals that are used as food. In today's class, we are going to discuss about animal products which are used as clothing and protection and maintenance of animals. Some fabric fibers such as cotton, jute and silk are natural fibers. Cotton and jute are examples of plant fibers. Silk and wool are examples of animal fibers. Animal hair is of great demand. Animal hair along with the skin is used to make warm clothes as well as modern style clothes. The horse hair is used as bristles in small painting brushes. The hair of animals like sheep and goat are used in manufacturing woolen clothes, shawls, blankets, mufflers and socks. Wool is obtained from the fleece of animals like goat and sheep. What is fleece? Fleece means hair. The wool is also obtained from rabbit, camel and yak. The silk is obtained from the cocoons of silkworm. What kind of clothes is being used by the people of snow-covered region? Yes, very good. Woolen clothes. Why such kind of clothes preferred by them? Yes, very good. To protect from cold and to keep the body warm. Wool. What is wool? Wool is a fiber derived from the fur of animals belongs to the Caprinae family, principally sheep. The fur of mammals like goat, yak, alpaca and rabbit also be called wool. Wool is derived from the outer coat of the sheep. Now let's see how the wool is processed into fabric. The processing of wool involves 5 major steps. They are: first step is shearing. Second step, sorting or grading. And the third step is washing or scouting. And the fourth step is carding. And the fifth step is spinning. The 5 major steps of processing of wool are shearing, sorting or grading, washing or scouting, carding and spinning. Now let's see the steps one by one. And now the first step is shearing. What is shearing? The fleece of the sheep is removed from its body. This is called shearing. What is shearing? The fleece of the sheep is removed from its body. This is called shearing. The second step is grading or sorting. The fleece from the same sheep may be different from different parts of the body. It is sorted out into separate piles of similar nature. This is known as grading or sorting. Third step is washing or scouting. The sheared skin is washed thoroughly with soap or detergent to remove dirt, dust and grease. And the next step is carding. The dried wool is carefully removed. These fibers then pass through the rollers which are covered with a fine sheet of thin wire teeth. This process arranges the wool into flat sheet called a web. Final step is spinning. The web is drawn into narrow strand and then passed through spinning machines. The spinning machines twist the strand into yarn. The yarn is wound to form ball of wool. This yarn is either weaved into fabric or retained for knitting. Students, now let's see the characteristic features of wool. Wool is resistant to heat, water and wear and tear. Wool absorbs moisture. Wool insulates against cold. So, wool is a good insulator. Wool does not wrinkle easily. These are the characteristic features of wool. Students, what do you infer from the shown cases? Yes, wool is a multifunctional fiber. With a range of diameters, wool is suitable for making clothing, household fabrics and technical textiles. 2/3 of the wool is used in the manufacture of sweaters, dresses, coats and active sportswear. Blended with natural or synthetic fiber, it is used as ads drape, crease resistant blankets, anti-static and noise absorbing carpets. That means these carpets reduce the effect of static electricity and reduce the noise. Children, have you ever attended a marriage function? What clothes does the bride and the bridegroom wear? Yes, sari and dhotis. What is it made up of? Yes, it is made up of silk. It is made up of silk. Silk is also one of the animal fiber. Silk is the secretion of the silk moth. Silk is obtained from the cocoons of silkworms, which feed on the mulberry leaves. Silkworms live for a very short time, only about 2 months. During this period, they pass through 4 stages of development. They are eggs, caterpillars, cocoon and adult moth. These stages are called as life cycle of silkworm. The cultivation and production of silk is known as sericulture. Bombyx mori is the most widely used species of silkworm and intensively studied. An adult female silk moth lays about 500 eggs. The eggs are then kept in cold storage for 6 weeks. The eggs are placed in the incubator. After 10 days, the eggs hatch out and the larva comes out. The larva spend the next 35 days by eating mulberry leaves. The silkworms spend about 5 days producing silk and spinning its cocoon of a single long thread. The cocoons are boiled to make it easier to unwind the silk and kill the pupae inside. If the silk moth were allowed to hatch, the long silk fiber will get tear by the hatching of the moth. Cocoons are unwound and then the individual silk filament is reeled together to form a thread large enough for weaving. The silk thread is cleaned, dyed, woven into fabric. Students, now let's see the characteristic features of silk. Silk is very soft, comfortable and versatile. Versatile means it can be used in many ways. Silk is easily dyed. That means it can be stained with dye. Silk is the strongest natural fiber. Silk has poor resistance to sunlight exposure. These are the characteristic features of silk. Now let's see the uses of silk. Silk has natural beauty and elegance. It gives comfort in warm weather and warmth during colder months. It is used in the manufacture of classical and high fashion cloths, modern dresses, particularly silk sarees, the elegant of beautiful dresses. It is also used in household for making wall hangings, curtains, rugs and carpets. It is also being used in the manufacture of surgical threads for suitors. India is the world's second largest silk producing country, while China is the first. Kanjipuram, Tirubhuvanam and Arani are famous places for silk production in Tamil Nadu. Now, let's see the hazards in silk and wool industry. Hazard in any industry has the potential to cause injury, ill health or damage to human being and their property or the environment. First, we are going to see the hazards in silk industry. Generally, the workers in silk industry affected with arthritis as they stand for a long time, reeling the silk into yarn. They also develop back pain and visionary problems. Sometimes they may suffer from respiratory problem like asthma and bronchitis due to poor ventilated area of their work, and also they affect with skin injuries. Similarly, hazards in wool industry, the workers are exposed to various chemicals and detergents which cause allergies of the skin. They also get infected to anthrax bacterium, which leads to fatal dead disease called the Sartor's disease. Let's see about the disease anthrax. Anthrax is caused by Bacillus anthracis by handling contaminated animal hair and contact with the livestock during hair processing. The symptoms are fever, cough and shortness of breath, similar to a typical pneumonia. Sometimes it may lead to vomiting and diarrhea. The treatment of the disease anthracis is penicillin or ciprofloxacin is given as the best medicine for treatment of anthrax. Now let's see the preventive measure. The spread of the disease is controlled by vaccination of animals and by burning or burial of infected animals' carcasses. Carcasses means animal's dead body. It is the duty of the employer to take care of the industrial workers by providing hygienic and well-ventilated workplace. Sericulture or silk farming is the cultivation of silkworm to produce silk. It is the rearing of the silkworms to obtain silk. Ahimsa silk. It is also known as peace silk. In 1992, Kusuma Rajaya, a government officer from Andhra Pradesh state of India, proposed Ahimsa way of silk production for the making silks without killing the silkworm. It involves a human method, specifically letting the worms to hatch and then using the vacant cocoons. Traditional silk manufacturing method involve boiling the cocoons of the silkworms and then sorting out the threads, which is used later in silk production. It has been supported by many people who are interested in the welfare of animals. Study of breeding of animals and their maintenance is called animal husbandry. Animal protection and maintenance. Protecting animals is like protecting our own children or parent. They are also living things similar to human being. As an elite, most intelligent and responsible human being on the earth, it's our responsibility to protect all the living organisms on the earth. Human tendency and conscience towards the animals should be considered to protect and safeguard the animals. Hence, as a human being, it is our great responsibility and obligatory to protect the animals. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has released 4 new Gazette notifications under the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960 to regulate dog breeders, animal marketers, aquarium and pet fish owners. This progress has come about as a joint effort by animal protection groups. With the protection of animals, we actually protect ourselves and protect the environment. So, we have to love and protect the animals and treat them as our family members. Children, now let us revise the previous part of this lesson. Animals contribute many things for our use, such as food, clothing, and transportation. What are the animal products used as food? Good. Milk, egg, honey, meat, etc. Then what are the animal products used as clothing? Good. Wool and silk. Name some animals which are used in transportation. Ox, donkey, horse, camel, elephant, etc. Let us learn about the importance of animals and how to protect the animals and how to maintain them. First, we are going to see animal products which are used as food. Children, can you give example for the animal products which are used as food? Very good. Milk, egg, meat, honey, etc. First, we are going to learn about milk. Milk is a white liquid food produced by the mammary glands of mammals. Milk is the primary source of nutrition for infant mammals. Milk is the daily essential product which is obtained from animals like cow, buffalo, goat and camels. Milk is necessary in our daily diet to prepare tea, coffee, ice cream, chocolates, sweets and other related products. Milk is a highly recommended nutritive food. It contains protein and calcium. Paneer, cheese, butter, cream, ghee and curd are made from milk. Children, next we are going to learn about eggs. Eggs are laid by female birds of many different species to produce their young ones like hen, duck, turkey and ostrich. Egg is used in our daily life for the following. Eggs are used in our daily diet to get energy and good health. It is highly nutritious and rich in protein. Eggs have 6 grams of high quality protein A protein-packed breakfast helps to sustain mental and physical energy throughout the day. Consuming egg daily is good for our health and it is good for people of all age. Now let us learn about honey. Honey is obtained from honeybees. Honeybees collect nectar from flowers. What is nectar? Nectar is the sweet juice which is present in the flowers and convert it into honey and store it in the honeycomb. Honey is a sweet liquid produced by the honeybees from the nectar of the flowers. Honey is extracted from the beehives by human beings. Raw organic wild honey is extracted from the selected hives by the tribal honey hunters who collect it from the jungle. Honey has more medicinal value and highly nutritious food. There are three types of honeybees in a beehive. They are queen bee, drones. Drones are the fertile males and worker bee. Worker bees are the sterile female. The worker bees collect the nectar from the flowers. They nourish the young ones and repair the beehive and also protect it. Children, next we are going to learn about meat. Meat is animal flesh that is eaten as food. Most often, it is used to describe skeletal muscle and fat that is found within. Some people eat the flesh of animals such as chicken, sheep, rabbit, pig, goat, camel, buffalo, fish, crab, prawn, lobster and many more. Animal meat is considered as the part of the diet by most of the people. Meat consumption is considered essential for its nutritive values. Especially, chicken breeding is done in large scale in the form of poultry farming for economic purpose. What is meant by poultry? Poultry means domestic birds. What is called poultry farming? Poultry farming is the process of raising domestic birds such as chicken, duck, turkey and geese for the purpose of getting meat, egg for food. Poultries are reared in large numbers and chickens being the most common one. Chickens are broadly classified into two types. They are layers and broilers. Layers means the poultry birds which are reared only for eggs. Layers are the egg-laying chickens. Broilers are reared for meat. Poultry farming requires safe and sufficient space for birds. Usually, birds are kept in the wired cages. The birds should be provided with plenty of water and proper ventilation. The poultry feed should be rich in proteins, fats and vitamins. Poultry feed is comprised of maize, wheat, millet, rice bran in mashed form and also groundnut cake. Poultry birds suffered from various diseases caused by some microbes. Microbes means microorganisms. It is important to keep the shelter clean and get the birds vaccinated against some common diseases. Some of the common diseases of the poultry birds are given here. The first one is salmonellosis. It is caused by bacteria. The symptoms of salmonellosis is diarrhea. The second one is Ranicot disease, is also known as fowl pox. The causative organism of this disease is virus. The symptoms of Ranicot disease are twisting of the neck and paralysis of wings and legs, diarrhea and respiratory distress. The next one is aspergillosis. The causative organism is fungus. The symptoms are respiratory difficulties and weight loss. Poultry birds. Dear children, today's video class you have learnt about animal products used as clothing and protection and maintenance of animals. I hope you all understood the lesson very well. Thank you. Have a nice day.